Hello, and welcome to another episode of 5 Minutes with Freed. I'm your host, Michael Freed. I'm a litigation partner in the matrimonial and family law firm of Berkman, Botker, Newman, and Shine, with offices in New York City, Westchester, and Long Island. And today, my special guest is Nick Sforza of Manhasset Realty Corp. So, Nick, welcome to 5 Minutes with Freed.
Well, thank you, Michael. I appreciate you having me, man. I'm excited for the opportunity.
Sure. So, Nick, tell us, what is Manhasset Realty Corp. And what's your role in the company?
Yeah, so we are basically residential realtors. It is my own company. I am the broker owner of the Manhasset Realty Group. We're located in Manhasset, but we cover all of Long Island, all of Queens. Our specialty pretty much is all types of residential real estate. Could be your primary home, could be condos, could be co-ops, luxury, could even be small investments like 1 to 4 family. We do not do commercial, but we have contacts for that as well. If I had to tell you what our niche is, though, it's definitely estate sales, definitely distress sales, and downsizers or empty nesters or things like that.
So, Nick, you know that I'm a matrimonial and family law attorney. When would my clients most often require your services?
Yeah, I mean, so obviously, matrimonial, divorce, things like that is a very, very touchy subject, very sensitive topic. Those are always delicate clients that we have to handle. I would first start by saying that if they know they're going down this path, even if it hasn't started yet, that they should probably contact me. I can come in and take a look at the house and give them a sense of, um, you know, how much that house is worth, before, so they can start making some educated decisions. Lots of times they own a home or maybe multiple homes. Obviously, the more assets you have, the more tricky you can get. So I think it's good that they get a sense of what each is worth, and then they could decide if if they want to sell, if they want to keep, if they, however they want to structure it. Obviously, it gets to the point where they may have to sell. Um, I don't always encourage them to sell. It really comes down to what's best for them and their family. I know it sounds crazy. Most realtors are like, sell your home, please. But I really try to guide them in the right way. But lots of times they want to keep it for emotional reasons. But it doesn't really work out financially for them. So I try to be honest with them and say, listen, it might be best to sell this and buy something small so you're in a good place financially. So when that time comes and they actually are going through the divorce, and assets do need to be sold, yeah, absolutely call me. And I work for myself, and I may say this a couple of times. Very flexible with my listing agreements, very flexible with my commission. I generally try to do what's best for my clients and, try to net them as much money as I can.
Of course. So, Nick, what's the best way for a prospective client or other professional like myself to contact you?
Well, obviously my cell's the best way. I live and breathe on my cell phone. My text messaging is always the greatest way. So I'll say 516-314-7120. You're welcome to call me, but probably best to text me. I'll get it and I'll text you back. I'll call you right back. My email is nick at M as in Mary, S as in Sam, P as in Paul, realty.org. And then please, I urge all of you, whoever's listening, to please find me on social media. I have my own YouTube channel under Nick Sforza. Like you, Mike, I have my own podcast. I'll have you on one day and we'll talk about your business.
Excellent.
I have definitely quite a few episodes there. We talk about real estate. We talk about a couple, a lot of things. We had an elder care attorney on there. Try to be very informative with that information. You can find me on Instagram. You can find me on Facebook, LinkedIn. There's a million ways to get in touch with me. Just put in Nick Sforza and my website will pop up and all the other good stuff.
Perfect. So now, Nick Sforza, we've now come to the most important part of our show, and that happens to be the question of the week. So, Nick Sforza, this is your question of the week. You have the ability to time travel to any period in time, whether in the past or in the future. What period of time would you travel to and why?
Wow, that's probably the easiest question. I would definitely don't want to go to the future. I don't want to see what the future is like in 20, 30 years. Um, I would absolutely, without a doubt, say I would go back to the 80s. I was born in 1973. I love the 80s, in early 90s, great time. Maybe it's sentimental, maybe because I just grew up in that era, but I just really enjoyed being disconnected. Nowadays with our phones and all the distractions, like just yesterday, I was watching a football game with my laptop on my lap and on my phone answering texts and looking at scrolling on TikTok. Like I miss the days when you probably remember this, Mike, when we used to
Yeah.
go to Blockbuster on a Friday, rent the movie, actually sit and watch the movie, you know what I mean, and not be distracted. It's like you can't do those things anymore. Not having our cell phones, not having all this crazy stuff. It was a simpler time. I really, really enjoyed it, and yeah, I would go back to that in a second, and kind of ride my bike around the neighborhood, go visit friends, do all the fun stuff we used to do as kids. Great time.
I'll tell you, I love that answer. And Nick Sforza, you have said it all. You are helping people move from one residence to another. And I want to thank you for being a wonderful guest on 5 Minutes with Freed.
I want to thank you for having me. This was great, and I'm going to invite you to my podcast, so we'll do this again soon.
Sounds great.